Hey folks, this is Billy D. KY, the truth seeker who simplifies and demystifies. This is going to be week 10 of the weekly series, Lies and Half-Truths of the Bible. And before we even get started, if you didn't need more evidence that Christianity is a failed system, all you had to do is look at Pat Robertson. Enough said. Okay, preliminary stuff. Reality is your end teacher for following God, not the Bible. Point number 2, following God isn't a closed-mind endeavor. Point 3, not believing in God isn't the problem, not seeking God is the problem. Okay. Last week we talked about John 14:6, which is Jesus said to him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. And I pointed out that this was a ridiculous statement because no one stands between you and God. Does anybody stand between you and reality? No. The only person that stands between you and reality is you, your ego, your egotistical, pleasure-seeking ways. That's the only thing that separates you. This week we'll be talking about Ecclesiastes 1:9. And basically, if you've never, the statement we're going to be talking about, and there is nothing new under the sun. Nothing new. There ain't nothing new ever going to be done. It's all been done before. Basically, that's how Ecclesiastes goes. And basically, I remember reading this a long time ago when I was a Christian, probably, I don't know, it's maybe like 20 years ago or so. And at that time, I was a depressed person because I could sort of see that, you know, I have good vision. I could tell I was going to die someday, and it's just, you know, dealing with it and all kinds of other issues. Got some Native American in me, so depression, you know, you get a little bit of depression from that, you know. And basically, back in the day, Ecclesiastes I thought was a pretty good book because it was where I was at. And basically, if you don't know much about Ecclesiastes, it's basically a depressed guy writing that book. You know, basically, he, okay, let me see here. Basically, it's written by a very depressed person who doesn't understand the most fundamental spiritual truth, which is it all boils down to growth. Now, notice what he's saying. And there is nothing new under the sun. That's a very depressed state of mind. Nothing new is ever done. It's all been done before. I'm not special. It's all ego crying. It's negative thinking. It's egotistical thinking. And just to quickly prove it's wrong, I mean, where are you watching this video at? They didn't have videos back then. So, I mean, obviously, it's not, his statement is not true. There's nothing new under the sun. This computer I'm looking at is new. The internet's new. It's all, there's always things going. I mean, and this is why that's why you need to understand science. From the Big Bang forward, it's been growing to what it is today. There's always things growing. It may not grow as quickly as you want it. Like, I would love my spiritual movement to just take off like the wind. But it's not. It's going to be slow like a tree. A little bit of progress each day. Okay. Basically, the writer is caught up in depression, which is a negative, egotistical state of mind, which violates 3 of my principles in following the way I grow. First principle it violates, well, maybe that's the first one I want to talk about is principle 7, know your enemy, ego and pleasure. The writer of Ecclesiastes is being attacked by his own ego, which I'm not sure if it's David or Solomon or something like that. It don't even really matter. But basically he's being attacked by his ego, and he's not facing that whining that's coming up. He's allowing it to just mull and mull. Poor pitiful me, feel sorry for myself, nothing's ever been done, I've done all these things, I'm still pathetic. It's just, it's pathetic thinking. So if he'd understood that, he could have faced himself and made progress and got back in harmony with growing. Principle 8, seek harmony and peace. Basically, negative thinking is not in harmony with the essence of life. You know, you should be positive. You know, look at all the good things I've had. Look how God's blessed me, and how could I use this to bless, you know, continue on and to progress God's plan again, because God's plan is to grow in sustainable ways. Instead, he's feeling sorry for himself with all his money, all his possessions. You know, to me, maybe if he wasn't so focused on himself, he wouldn't have been so depressed. And I have to tell this quick story because I think we're going to have time. There was a king, I can't remember the story. I don't remember the details, but I do remember the essence of it. There was a king that was all depressed, and I don't know who it was. They went and grabbed him, took him out, and then basically just drug him out in the woods, and, you know, it's hard to be depressed. He was just sitting up in that luxury castle and he was depressed, you know, to the high heaven. And somebody grabbed him, pulled him out, and put him in the woods, and, you know, for long he was happy again. So, you know, just When you're out of harmony, depression is going to be your companion. Okay. He violated principle 5. Question everything. If he'd have questioned the thoughts in his head, say, you know what? Look at me, how I've grown. I'm not new. I'm new to this universe too. So he could have looked at his own life. He could have questioned those thoughts, but he didn't question those thoughts. He just mulled in them and whined and whined and whining and whining and whining. Whining is the first step to failure. It is the beginning of failure. Never accept it from others and don't accept it from yourself. Okay. Next week we'll be discussing Luke 12:51, which is, do you suppose that I came to, and these are Jesus' own words, do you suppose that I came to give peace on earth? I tell you, not at all, but rather to divide. You know I'm going to have some issues with that. I'm going to enjoy ripping Jesus a new one on that one. Trust me. I'm even sweating a little bit thinking about it. If you'd like to know more about Falling the Way of Growth, click the first link in the information section of the video. If you don't know who I am, Billy D. K.I., the Truth Seeker, who simplifies, demystifies. I've got this. I use scientific principles in my spiritual path. Everything I say works. That's the whole point. Beliefs don't necessarily produce anything. Keep you trapped in stupidity. Anyway, that's enough of that. If you want to watch last week's episode, click the link in the video response. If you want to watch all episodes, there's a playlist that just popped up. You can click it. And I've got a video in there, inclusive spirituality, not exclusive religion. And please rate until next Wednesday. Later, folks.